only way money multiplies is through investments. Write it down. The only way money grows and the only way money multiplies is through investments. If you do not understand investments, you will never be wealthy. Unfortunately, these kinds of platforms don't give us the liberty, because you are speaking with people and because you are speaking on financially related subjects, and with it comes many things, unfortunately. But let me tell you this: you must learn and master investments if you want to be wealthy. A job can give you a, you can have salary saved with time and have some money. Providing value, like I taught you, can connect you to a clientele, and all together they can give you some money. Some of us, as I'm speaking to you now, it's not like God has not been faithful. There is something lying there, but what to do with it is what most people do not know. Is the reason why they keep going up and keep going down. There is nobody who is sustainably wealthy on earth, whether in the secular or in the church. There is no ministry, listen carefully, that is sustainably wealthy on earth that has ignored investments. No. Those days when we were growing, most of the churches in the north, beyond having their assemblies, almost all of them had schools, they had hospitals, they had retreat centers. And for a long time, I didn't know why they had to do that. That everywhere the churches were founded within the states, with all due respect, you also see this in many what we call our orthodox circles. You will see schools, you will see restaurants, you will see hospitals, and you are wondering why these things have to be there. Eventually, I will understand that the truth is that, please listen, in ministry today, just depending on tithes and offerings will leave you begging forever. COVID taught many people a lesson. As wonderful and tight as tithes and offerings are, people are growing, and it takes time for people to grow. It takes time for the word of God to speak over their lives. It's the reason why many sincere laborers in the kingdom are going through a lot of financial tension. There are many people who God has been faithful. They collect salaries, 200,000, 500,000, $1 million plus for 10 years. They have money stashed in the bank for years, 10 years, 15 years. That money is there because they do not understand investments. It does not grow. Unfortunately, I submit to you that the understanding of investments for the average African, the average Nigerian, and the average church person is very small. Is the reason why people part away with their monies, making poor investment decisions. Is the reason why many people are in financial troubles this moment as I speak, because they have to make do with whatever information is available, and most of it is full of all kinds of things, and people get into all kinds of trouble. But rest your mind on this, that when God shows you faithfulness financially, your next project is to settle down and learn everything you can on investments. By the time you create systems, they are called, you have entered a realm called oceanic wealth. It's a realm that the Bible calls the wealthy place. You see that now. Apply to be part of School of Ministry next year. Hopefully you have a chance to learn in more detail a few things about finances, investments. Most believers, I wish I had the liberty to talk a lot more on investments, but this is important. Have this at the back of your mind. The believer who cannot invest, who does not know how to invest, is the believer who cannot perpetuate wealth. For many reasons, there's no liberty to teach this in most detail in church, because financial issues are very delicate issues, and you are talking to a global audience. Are we together? And there has to be disclaimers when you teach on finances, because if people act on your financial advice and get into trouble, you can land in court, they can sue you. So because of that, preachers are not at liberty, even when they know how to guide. They are not at liberty to be elaborate beyond these kinds of states. But I'm just telling you, go and read up on investments. And let me give you a strong advice. Investments. There are business people today who don't invest. There are people who have had 10 million lying down for years. They've not been able to invest. 100 million naira is lying there. They don't invest. Whereas somebody, do you know, in Abuja here, just a few years ago, there were properties that were going, lands for 400,000, a million naira. There are people who carry 10 million and bought 10. Now, one of those properties is not less than 60 million or 100 million. Say investments. And it's not like they were really very smart. They just were able to go ahead of time and to do that. There are some parents today, they did not have financial intelligence, but the one thing they did was to be able to go and buy some serious plots of land, and they kept it. They bought some of those lands for less than 100,000, even in your Abuja here. And some of those lands right now are in the hundreds of millions. And all the person would do is to just sell one and train his whole children to school. Give a portion to 7, yea to 8. For you do not know the calamity or the disaster that shall come upon the earth.